Powered by Riverside FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm sorry, teachers of all ages, welcome to the Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Chandler.
Welcome, Joey. Now we pop. It takes that little second. All right, quick jump into the holidays for our March 23rd episode.
Here are today's effing holidays.
So it is March 23rd because I'm hitting it and there's a delay going on right now.
It's like, what I like is the slight hint in your voice. I'm just here to, it's like, I tell you what, we're going to get these.
I'm pushing the button and I'm not hearing anything going. I was like, come on, computer.
Well, it sounds
right,
like it sounds like the computer's pushing your buttons. Really, is what it sounds like.
Oh yeah, it's back and forth, right? Did
Exactly.
you know today is World Turtle Day? This day honors two animals associated with wisdom and perseverance: turtles and tortoises. I have a turtle on one of my tattoos. Pretty awesome, man. But you know, I thought of this. Well, I thought of you when I was like, hey, there's a creature in the ocean that Joey can't be scared of, right?
I don't
Never
know.
that, right? Are you scared of turtles and tortoises?
Well, I'm not
Hope not.
scared of them, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I tell you what, not scared, but I am aware if people are like snapping turtles live in like this area. I'm like, all right, you got to watch out for that because they'll bite, just latch on and they don't let go, right?
Don't grease yourself up with kelp or whatever, man. I think you'll be okay.
Well, is that the only place where they live? Is like in kelp? I don't know.
No,
I've never
no,
done my research.
Actually, I don't even. I'll just mix it. I know they eat plants, so that's the only ocean plant I can think of. Who knows? But if you ever watch Finding Nemo, they seem pretty cool, at least in the movie, you know.
They always make turtles out like they're like real slow, except for like what was it? What was that movie? The panda thing, Kung Fu Panda.
Oh yeah.
That tortoise or whatever turtle or whatever like was like the master, could kick everybody's butt.
Hey, I think you forgot about four turtles that lived in New York City.
Oh my gosh.
They weren't slow at all, you know?
They were the Teenage Mutant Ninja variety kind.
Yeah, exactly. I forget what they called the kids who lived in the sewer or something. What was it? Yeah.
The show was about these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that would do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. I think it was called the Turtles That Ate Lots of Pizza.
Today is also National Cooler Day, so grab your cooler filled with ices and drinks, and let's head out on this National Cooler Day. I find out my niece and nephew, their school district is out this week, and some of my family are like, what about, they're asking me, I was like, nah, we still got a couple days next week, although it's Monday's off. We'll be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday's our graduation promotion party, and hopefully a good chunk of them leave them, but Thursday it's like you're trying to keep the kids from killing anybody, right? Hurting themselves, and having them kind of help you pack up, you know, put them to work.
Yeah.
But all the bus kids won't be leaving. It's also Lucky Penny Day, dude. I love Lucky Pennies. You know, I believe in that superstition. I'm a little stitious, you know. So
you're not superstitious.
I'm a little stitious. See a penny, pick it up all day long. You have good luck. I know when one of the things I do, and this could be something people learn, take home from Joey and Chandler. Something a gift idea I like to do is I like to give Christmas cards with lotto tickets, like scratch offs, and I put lucky pennies in there, taped heads up. And you know, it's now family's not winning like tons of money, but you know, about 40% winners. I feel like that's something, you know, teaching the kids how to gamble.
If you're shooting threes, that's a pretty good percentage right there.
Yeah, actually, if we're hitting baseball, it's really good too. It's just terrible if you're like a field goal kicker, and it's really bad for football.
Where did the whole heads up, tails up thing like come from? Like, because I remember like when we were kids, like it was like you just find the penny, it's all good, and then it's like if it's tails up, then all of a sudden it's bad, and you got to leave it alone. When did that happen?
That sounds like a good question for a future inebriated history.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And Winston can teach us something again. Last but not least, holiday. Don't Friday. Don't fry day. You wouldn't let your children smoke, so why let them fry? I guess, well, put on sunscreen, wear hats if you can. You know something I didn't know, I didn't learn until I moved back down from Illinois? Is, you know, you normally see people with a umbrella, and you think, oh, it's raining. No, out here it's so sunny and hot. That's pretty good, sun deterrent. Put that up there, so just keep that in mind.
Well, that and you
Help
think
you out.
about they're outside celebrate National Cooler Day. They got to make
Yeah,
sure they put on that stuff.
hope those aren't kids, but yeah, you're right. Dress appropriately for Cooler Day and Friday. All right, and that's it. We're gonna move on to the headlines, sir. Whenever it plays.
It's time for this week's edition of Joey and Chandler's Headlines. Yay! Hooray!
There it goes. All right. So I got a couple headlines kind of moving around. First off, the countdown, in those single digits. I was just talking to a couple teachers today, and I was telling them, my dad used to always ask near the every end of every school year, right? He's like, "Hey, you ready to?" He's like, "You ready for summer? You ready for summer?" And I always be like, "Pops, I'm more ready because these kids are driving me crazy. Like they're ready. So like I'm like, yeah, I'm out. Like, I'm frustrated just having to say the same thing over and over. You can tell these kids are they've tuned out.
Yeah.
They're mailing it in. So we're just trying to keep them as sane as we can. Our computers are being picked up tomorrow, so no more technology for the rest of the year. So that just changes. It just means more coloring and stuff. It's one of the good things about the younger kids. The older kids won't color as much, So, but my next thing, I think this is funny. Every time I log into what we call our portal, there's this big headline. That's just the district's talking about, hey, if you want to resign, here's the process. It has a link to it. I think, and I've joked with some of the teachers in my district in school. I think it's my district's way of saying, hey, we're a little overstaffed. Hint, hint. Do you want to get out? It's just kind of crazy. You ever heard that? You ever seen anyone do that?
Kind of, sort of, because essentially they're trying to get a jump. If if there's like a perceived shortage of like teachers or whatever positions that you might want to fill, so like
Yeah.
central office, support staff, whatever it might be, you try to get that jump on it. So like I've seen it other ways too, where they're like, hey, we're gonna give you an incentive, not an incentive bonus, an attendance bonus, but like a sign up bonus. So like, hey, like if they're wanting to make sure like they're not gonna have a whole lot of vacancies, they're like, sign up, sign your contract now, and we're gonna get you're eligible for a retention bonus next year of however many $100, just so that way they can make sure people sign up and they can be like, okay, we're gonna be short here, we're overstaffed here, and they know how to shift.
What? I know this is my first year. I mean, I've been in this district a decade, although it's going to end here in 9 days. And then I'll be officially not part of the district anymore. I've never seen it like this where you can't transfer, right? Like teachers are getting displaced. So you couldn't hire, there's no new hires and there's no transfer. Like it's like the displaced teachers, you have to kind of hire them from the pool and figure out where they fit, where they're going to go if they work with whatever school. And a couple of the teachers, like my STEM teacher and my GT teacher, like my STEM teacher, like they both got displaced. My STEM teacher got a new job at another school in the district. I'm trying to tell the GT teacher to apply to my district, my new one. And another teacher, a third one, she used to be at my school. She's a STEM teacher somewhere else. And she got hit with that same thing. She's like, I guess they're like, oh, we got too many. And so she got displaced. And so now she's like both the STEM teachers going to end up being back in second grade, but it's just crazy, that's where we're at right now. So, all right, my third headline, because I got, a few headlines today. So I'm not going to read this whole article, just kind of sum it up. But I stumbled across this the other day, right? So this is from England, but I guess there's some teachers on strike, right, in England,
Yeah.
because like here the headline says teachers are having scissors thrown at them. We've had enough, so they've gone on strike. And if you read it, it's like it sure makes it seem like there's no behavior control whatsoever. Like the teachers are trying everything they can, because there's a part in the article where there's kids are just running down the hallway, just kicking doors in and just throwing water bottles in there just to make noise and distract, and like nobody can do a thing about it. It's like it makes me wonder, like, what is going on there? They need campus security or something.
It's in England though, so maybe they're running down like the Yanks are coming. The Yanks are coming.
Yeah, blame it on us, right? Hey, my last headline, I'm gonna try and do a little Seinfeld impression, right?
All right.
What's the deal with Windows, Joey? And when I'm talking about Windows, I'm not talking about the computer software. I'm talking about why do we have windows in school? Because I guess is it just to get sunlight? Because we can't open them, and you don't want them if they're on. Heaven forbid, there's like a lockdown or whatever, right? It's.
Yeah.
I guess it's just an exit strategy. Well, you can't even go through the windows if there's a fire, though, right?
What?
Like, wouldn't it be like last resort? To like try
Probably. Like
and
if you were like barricaded in.
yeah, and I don't even know if it's like those those like two-sided glass. You know what I mean? Like, cause there's some glass if you break like one side, it's still not really through, and it's jagged. It's gonna be. I'm just like, I don't know. I was talking about it this week with some teachers, and I was like, why do we even have windows? We can't open them. It's just. Any thoughts, El Admindo?
It's to like punish you and be like, look what you could be doing, but instead you're in here learning with
look
us.
at the nice weather outside that you can't go see.
Like, you like that? You can't get that. You don't deserve it. You're not finished with your homework.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you got. You.
I don't
I
honestly
mean,
know. Like, I mean, it makes me like everything you're saying makes sense, and I honestly don't know. Like, the only thing
right?
I can think is like, well, they're like, oh, well, it'd be maybe somebody gets hurt when they're trying to get out the window, but it's like
Yeah,
if there's a fire and the door's blocked off, like you're supposed to be like, all right, we got to burn. What if it's Don't Friday? Like, we're gonna
yeah, exactly.
burn.
I mean, it's just I don't know. Like I said, it's just I don't get it. I feel like there's a safety thing there, or there's a reason. I know there's a reason. Don't get me wrong. It could be a structural reason, for all I know, right? Maybe those windows. Although I feel like if you weren't going to put a window there, you'd still put. It's not like you're just going to leave a hole there, you know. I'm sure they'd
Well,
still have something there to bare the walls or whatever the ceiling. But
bet,
I
I bet you like the windows are probably just like, I mean, you want to have some sort of, maybe some sort of scientific or just picturesque.
do,
Like, you don't want it to look like it's a prison of just some boxed
do
in thing.
you think they also kind of maybe help um some of the temperature? We live in a hot area. Do you think that somehow that kind of I don't know makes it a little cooler inside or whatever? I don't know. I'm sure there's a
Well, no,
reason.
I don't
Maybe
know.
one of these days we'll actually research it or whatever. But those are all the headlines I got. But that last one's gonna lead into the next thing. Anything you want to add, sir?
No, I actually, when I saw the headlines, I saw England and I was like, crap, is it a TripAdvisor? I don't even know what's going on.
You're like I'm not prepared. No, I think we're gonna do a TripAdvisor though next week. So just so you know, right? We'll do our little break, right? We'll come back with our cheer song, listen to Morgan Freeman, and then we got to play that new ad for our friends at Fish Audio.
Whoop,
Okay,
whoop.
so probably about the next 2 minutes or whatever, you're just listening. So I
Yay.
won't hear it. I'll have to just wing it here, looking at the timer. Okay,
Sounds good.
break time.
We say bro, gun bay, cheers mate, and cheers mate again, or simply cheers. Sometimes it's short towels and tea, other times it's cheers, are you effing hoser? You effing hoser. We also say soul day, salute, salute, or to gay, skull, let's all say. Nastarovi in the Russian way, in Vietnam we shout out, yo, Walugi Wawa, make South Africa glow. In Portugal, it's a solid soda, and Bud Mo, Ukraine's here to stay. For Jamaica, it's a loud yaman. No matter the place, we drink till dawn. That's how Joey and Chandler cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world.
I'm pulling I was channeling my ESPN sports radio there for you. All right, Morgan. Whenever, Morgan.
Hi there, I'm here to help Choi and Chandler to read an advertisement for BuyBlackett.com. Please shop BuyBlackett.com. Are you looking for unique gifts at unbeatable prices? Then look no further. BuyBlackett.com has quality merchandise for everyone on your list, from gifts for cat and dog lovers, to American fans, beer enthusiasts, and even Jesus lovers. As for teachers, we didn't forget about you. Please don't miss our funny attire to brighten up your classroom. So bring a smile to your loved ones' faces and shop BuyBlackett.com today. Tell them Choi and Chandler sent you.
So that's
Hi there, Ryan Reynolds here on behalf of my friends Choi and Chandler. You may know me from movies where I either save the world or ruin Thanksgiving. But today, folks, I'm not here to sell you cologne, crypto, or questionable NFTs. I'm actually here to tell you about Fish.audio. This isn't really me talking right now. This is my voice, made by Fish.audio, which frankly is terrifying. It sounds exactly like me, and trust me, I've heard my voice in 87 trailers. This is better. Whether you're a podcaster with a potato microphone, a game developer building an army of space dolphins, or just lonely and want a perfect Morgan Freeman to read your grocery list out loud to you, Fish.audio has you covered. Fish.audio is easily one of the best voice generation platforms I have ever used, which is saying something, because I've done voiceover for a toothpaste brand in 4 languages I don't even speak. And speaking of that, Fish.audio is cross-lingual, which means it supports 13 different languages. Their amazing program also allows you to clone voices. Fish.audio make your voice legendary, or at least make my voice say weird things. I legally can't stop you either way.
What were your thoughts on that, man?
I don't know, like the whole AI thing, man, like really kind of bothers me because I think I talked to you about it before on the phone. Like if you clone somebody's voice like that, I think
Mm-hmm.
of all the times like I call in and like to places where like it's like, hey, this is so and so, blah blah, and they don't necessarily ask you for like maybe a password. They're just like, well, okay, well, what's the account number or what's the address associated with the account? Like, and there's no like secret password that you have to provide. And it's like, well, somebody can go there like create an account or mess with your like if they know your account, and all you have to do is like steal somebody's mail, depending upon where it goes, and be like, oh, I've got your cable bill or whatever. And you can mess with it and be like, oh, add another account at this address, or it's kind of
Yeah,
trippy.
I hear you. Not to sound like a jerk. When I asked that question, I really meant like, what'd you think of the commercial?
Oh,
Not
I
what
told
was
you
your.
you ran that by you're okay. So Sirius was last week, dude. Like,
Yeah.
no, because you sent me that the other day. I just didn't respond. But
I wanted it on the air. I wanted validation. No, I'm
oh,
just messing with
you this is the episode where Chandler gets irritated the whole time. No,
you.
no, I like it. I like it, especially because it almost kind of goes with the theme a little bit. Like he sounds worried that he's able to kind of have his
but
voice
he
done. So he's like, all right. He's like,
but
Fish audio
but
is
it did
terrifying.
it did remind me of you there because there's that line where he's talking about this isn't me talking and this is terrifying, right? And I heard you say that before too, that it is weird, right? I mean, you're right. But there's so many things that people got to worry about. Not just AI, but so many things. If someone's not using it correctly, it's an issue. Excuse me. I like the entertainment value of it. Makes it
Yeah,
sound like we know Ryan Reynolds and Morgan Freeman, which obviously we don't. But it's always hope, right? All right, I'm gonna move on real quick. I realize there's a lot of stuff here that's probably gonna be moved on. I play in too much, right? And I do that on purpose so we don't have time to fill. Then we're just kind of like, yeah, we'll save this, or whatever. But all right, so I'm gonna move on real quick to my wine and cheese corner, right? What kids have been whining about this week. Um, and I'm not making fun of them because it's a legitimate gripe. I don't know what it is. End of the year, our AC just decided to crap out on my side of the building. So K through 2, well, actually pre-K through 2, it's cool. It was cooler in the hallway than it is in class, and so like the last 2 days we'd be in different rooms. Like we were actually in the music room. Today, since we had graduation walk with seniors, and then we left a little after 11, and didn't get back till after 2, like almost 2:30, because we went to high school to watch a play. It was like, well, and it was cooler. I mean, it was a little bit better today, but I was like, well, we're not gonna be here that long, so I think we can deal with it. But the kids are like, it's hot in here. Why is it so hot in here, Mr. Bing? I was like, well, AC stopped working. So I think like yesterday or 2 days ago, we went to the music room. Last 2 days we were in the music room, and the first day, this one of my headache students was like, why are we not in our classroom? I was like, well, the AC's not working. And she's like, well, it's not working in here. I was like, it's cold. But it wasn't good enough for her. And I was like, well, you got to deal with it. I'm sorry. Suck it up. It's like, it's a lot better now than it was. But I guess before, like, the rooms where the AC went out,
yeah.
one of my second grade teachers said that somehow she figured out it was 90 degrees in her room.
God dang.
Imagine that, you know, you're like, ugh.
And you got to think too, like in a classroom, unless you're one of those teachers that gets like one of those fans, like it's probably nice and hot and stuffy in there too.
Well, I mean, I have a fan courtesy of Mama Bing from a couple summers ago, and it's nice, right? And I get there early enough, and I'll open up the door in the morning, try and get some of that steamy humidity stuff out, and the wind, the fans blowing stuff around. But I mean, it's not like awesome, you know. And like I think yesterday, yesterday I talked to I think my AP, and then I talked to my AP today. Because both days she's like, "How does it feel?" And I was like, "Well, it's better." Like today I told her it's better. It's just, and I got the fan on, it's cooler. And she's like, and then I was like, "But I'm okay." And she's like, "What do you think about the kids?" And I was like, "No, I think they'll hate it." You know, I was like, "I don't think they'll last." You know, and actually, it was so humid in the room. We took the hamster with us yesterday, Tuesday, because we record early, pulling back that curtain, you know, letting audience know. I thought I had the fan right on the hamster, and he was hiding from the fan, so I thought, okay, he's doing okay. So I left him in the room, and the jerk that I am, and anyway, he's home now because it's too hot there. And kids are asking like, "Where's the hamster?" I was like, "No, he's at home." You know, I was like, "We're gonna leave him at home." I'm gonna pull a stick here shortly, and one lucky quote unquote parent, if you will get stuck with the hamster because I'm sure the kids they'll play with it, but I don't know if they'll clean up after it. But I'm gonna give the hamster away early next week. So, but I told them the hamster's at my house until it cools off because I don't want the hamster to, you know, have an unfortunate accident. You know.
Might be an unfortunate accident for the hamster going home with one of those kids, though.
Yeah, teacher. You know what I learned this year, at least for this hamster, he doesn't like cucumbers because sometimes the kids gave him cucumbers from lunch. And this dude had, oh man, like massive diarrhea. There was poop everywhere. I had to clean the clay cage on Friday, and I had a couple of students help. And for when they help, I just tell them, hey, make sure the hamster doesn't jump off the lid, because we put him in the lid as I'm cleaning it up. It was so bad that I was gagging because I was gonna throw up. That's how I was just like, I can't throw up because I gotta get this cleaned up, and I can't throw up in front of the kids. But I was just like, oh my gosh. And so then the next day. Actually, no, it was this Monday. I had to be like, hey, we are not feeding the hamster cucumbers anymore. I like the thought process, boys and girls, but his stomach doesn't like it, and I don't want to clean that mess up again. That was terrible. And they're like, okay. So I'm going to end right here on an inspirational story. Joey. And then, any feedback from you, I'll take, and then we'll move on. And some of this other stuff I'll just save for next week or whatever, right? But so we had senior walk, right?
Yeah.
And there was a student that I taught my second year at the school, in third grade. She emailed me a couple of days ago, and she's like, "Hey, are you gonna be there? You still at that school? Because I'm doing the senior walk." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm still here." And then I read her name, and in my head, I'm like, "I know that name." But I couldn't put a face to it, right? It's like I was telling another teacher, I was like, man, you know, I've been at 34 different schools in the last 18 years. I know 3,000 plus kids at least. I was like, I know the name, but I couldn't put a face to it until I saw her. And I told her that, and she kind of was like, well, she was joking. She's like, but now I'm offended. And I was like, hey, well, you know, I don't know it. Like, I don't remember everybody. You know how many kids I know? But anyway, she came, and you know, I don't have my cell phone on it, so I can't word for word do this. Right, I may have to add it in later. We'll see. But essentially, I told her she's going to do criminal justice. What she's thinking about, right? And she wants to do like SVU, but I guess they have to do like 4 years police first. And she's like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And I was telling her, like, you know, just so you know, like every job, there's always steps you got to go through to get to where you want. Like you can't just start where you want. But anyway, I emailed her when I was her student email, replied to it as we were going to the field trip. And I was like, hey, good seeing you. Congrats. Best of luck and you know, and everything. And I'm really proud of you, right? Because she's actually graduating early. And so then she replied back that, you know, she was happy to see me and that, like, I don't know, somehow I made a difference in her life, right? So it's kind of like she sent me this touching message, right? Like I made a difference for her life, one like a positive role model type thing, and it was like I had to tell. I shared it with some teacher friends and another good friend of mine, and I was like, it's a good thing I can't cry physically when I got hurt years ago because I was like that was pretty emotional, you know. But it's one of those things that hits you. I don't know if you've experienced like how often you've experienced it, but those are those moments we get as teachers, but they're not that often. You know what I mean? It's like it's
Yeah.
here and there, but it's one of those things that also you're like, well, that's why we do it. We don't get it. We don't get that validation a lot, but when you do it, or when you do receive it, you're like, man, that is pretty overwhelming. You know? Anything you want to add there? Or
No, I figure I'll let you
no?
kind of. That's a nice somber, a nice solemn moment to sit there and be like, oh, it's
Oh,
cute.
you do. I thought you were gonna be like, I have my own cute story, and you're like, nope, nah. Joey's not
No,
over it. Joey's like,
I
nah.
hate kids. I hate kids.
Yeah,
No,
exactly. Like,
no. I
forget
mean,
them.
I guess for me it would just be. I mean, because I got to graduate a couple of groups of kids from high school. It was kind of cool just kind of seeing them go through. Especially there was
Uh-huh.
one like we had him doing like makeup work up until like an hour before the ceremony. And so it was like when I was like, you got to finish it, man. Otherwise, I got to pull your name. And then so just seeing kids kind of getting through, and it's one of those things where you're like, it's like a on the inside for me though, it's like a bittersweet moment. I feel like it should be a bittersweet moment because I'm like, now you got to go in the real world and actually deal with crap, man. So you're like, yeah,
Oh,
I'm done with school and high school, and it's like, yeah, you're not going to realize that how much in a few years you're going to be like, man, I wish I was still in high school.
well, yeah, but you know, I agree with you too. But I was gonna say, this day and age now, a lot of kids take that quote unquote gap year, you know, and they not everyone moves out right away. I mean, we were 18, and we were like, we're on our own, pretty much, right? And they got a lot of kids now that stay living at home till they're like 21, 22, you know, ish. And so, like, yeah, it is different. But yeah, it hits them. One thing that hit my brain as you were talking is it's just I'm elementary, right? It takes a lot longer for me to see these kids, right? You know, when they graduate, because like if I do second grade, they got at least 10 years or close to 10 years, you know, to graduate unless they can pull it off early. Um, so that's like, you know, it's like a decade before I see them again. Whereas like if you're like my dad, he did a lot of juniors, you know, for social studies, for history. So he'd see them a couple years later, you know, like, oh, they just, you know, they're in college or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. See, for me, it's a little bit different, you know. Um, I didn't say anything to this girl, but I hope if her kids ever come to a school that I'm at, it better be like 10 plus years down the road, you know, because it's like too young to be. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that. I don't think that's her. She seems like she's got her head on straight. I'm just like, you know, that's something I want, you know, to run into kids or the kid or parents that would be like, hey, I had you in elementary and you're already a parent. I'm like, oh, you didn't waste time, right?
It's
I know. So, anything you want to add for this episode? Because I'm actually gonna, we'll be able to get out of here at a short time. You know, this will be a one of those quick ones. You know,
what is it?
we just
Ocean's
barely went
11
over
where he's
30.
like, I just don't think I react. He
Yeah,
snaps and they start making fun of him about it.
yeah, exactly. You got
No,
to run before you can walk. It's like,
I
wait a
think
minute,
I'm good.
the other way around.
I'm good.
We're getting near the end. All right. So social media plug. You can follow us on social media at Choey N Jan. So CHOEY, the letter N J A N, on Facebook, X, um, Instagram. No, I'm sorry. Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube. On Thread and Instagrams, we had to add that word TOO at the end. So at Choey N Jan 2, CHOEY, the letter N J A N, and then TOO. And then I think I mean I know I said it a lot more last year. I mean, almost in that summer. There's a lot of things I need to go clean up. You know, make sure that I got all our inebriated histories out there. Um, social media, like some of our digital shorts. I got a new idea for a short, by the way. One of my quote unquote commercials I was gonna do
Yeah.
that I think might be funny for us to do it as a digital short. And then I know that like here when we pull the plug on this, there's some planning I want to talk to you about Podmatch. for some of these people, right?
Yeah.
See, like, because I told him, I was like, hey, I need to talk to you to try and figure out, because what I did with the little calendar thing, right, the little calendar, is
Yeah.
I put us all on unavailable, because when people just people just sign up, and I'm like, whoa, like, hold up, you gotta give us a little heads up, I like to kind of know what we're gonna talk about, or whatever. Just want to just do it. So like I'm doing that, and then I'll message them like, hey, you tell me what works for you, and then we'll see what we can. We'll see what works around. Like there's a dude, that Mike Oppenheimer guy. He's all I know is he's on West Coast time, so I don't know if he's in California. I just know he's West Coast time, and so we're gonna have to like he podcasts during the workday, right? And so I told him, I was like, okay, so you're 2 hours behind us. We're about to be on summer break because me and Joey are teachers, so we'll be able to easily do that. It's just trying to figure out what works for you. And so like I told him and a couple others, like, yeah, I'm gonna talk with my co-host, partner, whatever you want to call it, teammate, and we'll figure it out. And then I'll just reach back out to them. So does that sound cool?
Sounds good.
All right, man. So pull the plug. I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
guess
Pull
you
it.
said yes.